Well, to start with, they had a studio band, and they were called the Virginians. And so we just went up there, and whoever who wanted to go up and audition, we backed them up. There was Dickie, Wee Willie Williams, and Cliff Gallup, and myself. I never knew Gene until that skinny thing walked in the front door. And I said, that's got to be Gene Vincent. Skinny as a rail. But he was good now. He was a good singer. And WCMS liked him. So and that's how it all got started, from WCMS. As far as I can remember, Gene and Sheriff Tex Davis was our manager. They were the one that wrote the Be-bop-a-Lula. So in order to try to get something going, they sent the tape to Capitol Records to Ken Nelson, and immediately he liked it, and so he wanted us to come out and record it. The Owen Bradley studio, which is not even there anymore, and that's where they got the idea. I think it was Ken Nelson somebody was saying that Ken Nelson said that he didn't want us or something of that nature. Isn't that where it was at? No, it's not true. But the way Gene would do it, they put him by himself and put us separate from him. He would be like behind a closed door. But of course we could hear him, but that's the way we recorded all of that. Be-bop-a-Lula, Race with the Devil, Blue Jean Bop, Up a Lazy River. But before that, we'd done all of our shows in Norfolk. We'd done Wilkins Chevrolet on Military Highway, the old Commodore Theater over in Portsmouth, and what was the name of the other?
Grand.
The
Grand in South Norfolk.
Yeah, the Grand in South Norfolk. And then we went to Nag's Head's Casino down there. But then when we started on the road, we done the show for Perry Como. We was on Bandstand. Did anybody ever tell you that? We started out, what was it? It wasn't a Cadillac we started out in. It was a Ford. Only it was one of these long, like a limousine, sort of, and had racks up on top. We put our stuff up there. Then we went from that to a Cadillac, wasn't it? To a Cadillac. And but we went from Las Vegas, Nevada. From my house to Las Vegas, Nevada, in a car. Now that was a trip. Good gracious, I was so glad when that was over with. I didn't know what to do. That's a long ways. Tired, the car stinking, the guys eating in there, and they didn't, stuff all over just. Yeah, Dickie would get wild. Lord have mercy, he wouldn't even sit down on his seat half the time. And he just got so wild, he just split the seat of his pants. And then one time in Los Angeles, I broke the peg on the bass. It weren't my bass, it belonged to the place where we played at. And Sheriff Tex Davis didn't like that. Of course, Gene didn't care.
Well, tell them how you did it.
I just went up with it and came down, and when it hit, the peg broke out from underneath of it and broke one of the strings, and the bridge fell out from underneath it. And Sheriff Tex Davis didn't like that, but Gene, he loved it. He was all for that stuff, man. He just go crazy. Whenever we would go to do a show, he would always tell us to not stand still, to move around a lot. But a lot of it was just because we love music. You know, you had to move around when you loved it. You just started jumping around. That was it. He was a good man to work for. Never got upset with any of us. Just went along with whatever. He would always come to us and ask us for advice, and that's the way it went with him. He was a good man. Sometimes you could tell he was in pain, but he tried to not show it. But I think he coped with it pretty good himself. He always treated me fine, And all this stuff, like my wife was talking about, that mess in the books, it's hard for me to believe that he was that type of a man. I just don't believe it. But he was a good man. Don't that look stupid?
No.
Yes, it does
You
too.
can take it off.
Yes, there was a reason. It had something to do with Eisenhower, the blue caps. Didn't he wear a blue cap or something of that nature? I don't either. But it had something to do with that. You're talking about like Wee Willie Williams. Well, I think his wife was the reason for him leaving. Cliff, his intentions was not to stay to start with. He was on a leave of absence from work. He was, well, he was a fabulous guitar player, I can tell you that much. I mean, a lot of people tried to imitate him, but they can't do it. I mean, that's how good he was. And myself, when everything, I mean, just the money part went, I left, and Dickie was the last one to stay with him. So he finally left, and Gene went to England. I had heard that he was very popular over there. In fact, he was more popular there than he was here. Why, I don't know. They still just think he's God, but he goes over big over there. Even though he's dead, he goes over big. From the day we left, I never heard a word from him, never got in contact. I think once all of this came up, he left and went to England, and I don't know if Dickie had ever had any contacts with him or not, I don't know. Yes, it does. It surprises me after 50 years that people still, just like y'all, making a film of this. After 50 years, yeah, it surprises me. You would think that it would all die out by now, but I don't guess it will. Maybe when I'm 90 years old, it'll still be going on.